It's what?
92 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Okay.
6 o'clock and it's
Yeah.
92 degrees.
Ready? You ready? Okay. Good evening. Welcome again to the City of Paris Planning Commission meeting, June 15th, 2022, and it's approximately 6:06 p.m. And at this time, Mr. Ryan Griffith, would you take our roll call for us?
Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Jimenez,
Here.
Commissioner Gomez,
Here.
Vice Chair Shively,
Here.
Chair Hammond.
Here. At this time, we stand with a moment of silence, and we're going to have a pledge of allegiance by, if you were willing, Commissioner Gomez, since Commissioner Lopez is not here.
It's Commissioner Gomez. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we move to item 5, which is presentation. Unless you have one, I don't believe we have a presentation. And then we move on to item 6, consent calendar. Planning Commission minutes for June 1st, 2022. And if there are any additions, any deletions, any corrections, anything, now would be the time. Okay. I thought I had something. No. Okay. I didn't see any. At this time, then we would like to have public comment on the consent calendar, whether it's on Zoom, if there's anyone on Zoom, or anyone in the audience would like at this time to have public comment, the consent calendar. Don't believe there's any. So at this time, we can introduce a motion. Moved by Vice Chairman Shively, seconded by Commissioner Jimenez.
Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shively,
Yes.
Chair Hammond.
Yes.
With a vote of 4 yes, this motion passes.
Thank you very much. I'm thankful we have air conditioning in here, aren't you? Jeez. We move on to item 7, public hearing. 7A is a tentative parcel map 38375, PLN 22-05034. Finance map to subdivide 357.48 acres into 9 lots for finance and conveyance purposes, located south of Nuevo Road between Dunlap Road and the Paris Valley Storm Channel. The applicant, Jason Keller, Mission Pacific Land Company. If at this time there's a finance map, if there's any ex parte communication, visitations to the site, does anyone like to disclose that now?
Commissioner Jimenez, I drove by the site.
Yes, I drove by the site more than once. That's Commissioner Hammond, sorry.
Nothing to report, Commissioner Gomez.
Thank you. Okay. And we have a presentation by Planner Nathan Perez.
Okay.
Go for it.
Thank you, not Mr. Mayor. It was from last night, that's
It's a
why.
Frody, right?
He could be the next mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission for having me here tonight. What we have before you is the Park West Specific Plan financing map, which is located just south of Nuevo Road, east of the Paris Valley Storm Channel. And the Park West specific plan is a master plan community, which was envisioned, or actually encompasses 520 acres of vacant land, envisioning to construct 1,657 single-family units, 370 multiple family units, for a total of 2,027 dwelling units within the specific plan. The specific plan also set aside areas for schools and also recreational park amenities throughout the whole specific plan. And to date, there has been no development that has occurred within the specific plan, so it's been pretty much dormant. So please note that the area that we're going to focus on tonight, tonight's meeting, is outlined in red per the exhibit. Okay, so the Park West specific plan was approved by the City Council in 1992. During that time, or after that time, there have been several amendments, and most recently in 2007, the City Council approved tentative tract map 31157 to subdivide 110 acres into 529 single-family lots. Now, the master developer, Mission Pacific, is now proposing a financing map to create 9 parcels to allow them the flexibility of selling portions of the parcels to merchant home builders. The financing map will not modify any of the underlying tentative tract map conditions of approval. It will not modify any of the unit count, the amenities, or the access points. So please note that the infrastructure improvements associated with the underlying map are still valid and will be constructed pretty much upfront when the first phase of development will come in, as stipulated per the Memorandum of Understanding. Pretty much essentially what the developer wants to do is pretty much kickstart development in the area, and he's asking the Plan Commission to approve the financing map so he could proceed with selling the different parcels to merchant home builders. So in conclusion, staff recommends that the Plan Commission adopt resolution number 2216, finding that the proposal is covered by the adopted mitigated negative declaration 2220 of the Park West specific plan pursuant to section 15162 of the CEQA guidelines, and approved tentative parcel map 38375 based on the findings contained in the resolution and the attached exhibits. And this concludes my presentation. I'm here to answer any questions, and also the applicant, Mr. Greg Fick from Mission Pacific, is also here to answer any questions you might have for him.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, are there any questions for city staff at this time?
So the existing entire parcel is 552 acres,
I'm confused which one.
something to that number, I think it is. But this tentative map to subdivide is only 357 acres. Is that not including any of the lakes or any of the additional parcels for the storm drain and those items, or is it?
So the 520, actually the 357 acres is everything north of San Jacinto. And that's why there's a difference between the specific plan's acreage to the financing map that we're considering tonight.
So the south of San Jacinto is going to remain the same currently? Or
Exactly.
until future, I guess. And the same, it might be a question for the applicant if they're going to come back and request to subdivide each of the 9 parcels into smaller lots, if they plan on doing that in the future.
So Commissioner Shively, I'd like to clarify a little bit. The underlining map which is 31157, is currently entitled, as you can see by the slide. So those areas already been subdivided, but yes, the applicant could actually come in later for parcel number 8 to subdivide the rest of the specific plan area. But I just want to point that out, that parcels 1, 2, 3,
1
4,
through
5
yeah.
are already pretty much subdivided.
Okay. They appear to be large lots. That's large individual lots. So I wonder if any potentially feature them coming back in the future and subdividing them into smaller lots.
Yeah, that could be a question that we could ask the applicant once he comes up, if he has, if he wants to proceed with the current entitlement the way it is, or if he's going to come in with a higher density.
Yeah, real quickly, the underlying specific plan has different, I guess,
Density.
areas, and every area has a kind of a density range and a total number of units. I believe there's like 29 or 30. They're coming back for just like 4 or 5 or 6 areas that has a map recorded already as part of a development agreement that extended this entitlement, although it was approved in 2007. It's still valid now. Usually there's a lifetime for the map, but if you do a development agreement, it extends the life of the map in exchange for some improvement obligation, which the applicant is holding to. And just for, so anything outside of this map area would have to go back to the Planning Commission and council ultimately as a map, and you would review any future map if they want to change any density, but there's an underlying density that's already created for even the area outside the recorded map.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Jimenez?
Nathan, quick question. I noticed I was looking at the areas that were designated for each area. In 1992, we had 14 acres set aside for schools.
Okay.
Then in 2007, it looks like we went down to 12.1. Same thing with the parks. We went from 25.5 parkland, and it said on there that they had combined numerous smaller parks into one large one, but it still looks like we lost quite a bit of land to that because we went from 25.5 to 19.6.
I can elaborate on some of that background. There's a memorandum of understanding that was approved. I'm trying to remember here the exact time that was approved, but I need to look at the engineering condition. But most recently, there was a memorandum of understanding that went to the council to consolidate the schools, to switch the school site. So the school site got bigger, but the parkland got smaller.
Okay.
So that was an exchange that the developer made with the school district in coordination with city staff, and the specific plan give us the allowance to do that under the memorandum of understanding, and it benefited the school because the school had a larger site and they wanted a larger site. The city, instead of having 2 parks in 2 different locations, we wanted a park in one location with more condensed amenity, which is being worked out with the community services department for the amenities. So that's why there's a reduction in park area.
But
And
there's a reduction in school too, right? Because I'm looking at it, in 1992, they had 14 acres for schools. 2007 shows 12.1 acres for public schools.
Yes, that was approved back, there's been multiple changes. So the most recent change is 2007.
Yes.
That's the baseline now. And versus, I guess we could talk about multiple error, but the last change was 2007, and that's the baseline we're working off of.
Okay, so we did lose from originally, we had larger school site, more park.
Yeah, it's just because as time evolved, there was a different needs, and so through multiple reiteration of the project, it kind of got adjusted. So 2007 was the last iteration, and we're kind of working off of that 2007 iteration.
So with the new iteration, we also lost the 25-acre lake and the 27 acres of open space.
Yes, in 2007, just for, I don't know all the thinking
Right.
and what happened before, but that was through that process, so.
Okay. So we're working based off of the numbers that we have in 2007.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. I was just wondering because I saw that there was open space, there was a lake mentioned in 1992, and then in 2007, there was no mention of any of that. Okay, well, that's it for now. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, give me a minute to kind of clarify this because I was there in 2007 and I wasn't involved in memorandums that didn't come to us. I would be a little harder than they would be. But to clarify, we're looking at, in 2007, those 5 parcels or lots were approved, City Council. Now we're coming to approve 9 lots. So why would we need to do 9 when already 5 were already approved in 2007? Wouldn't it just be those 4 additional lots? Why would we need to do 9 lots when you already approved those in 2007?
So the area we're looking at tonight is the map that got approved in 2007, which is
Right.
529 homes.
Yeah.
They kind of put them in different phases. They were just breaking up the phases for financing purposes so they can start selling them off or making it. And I can't get into all the logistics of that. The applicant can explain that better. But the whole goal is to give the home builder an option to sell the phases, because typically a home builder don't buy like 500 lots at a time. They typically buy between 100 to 150. And so this gives them that flexibility so that they can sell it to multiple builders, but they're still obligated to do all the major infrastructure improvements to get the track in a position for circulation and safety.
Okay, this is a little different than the one down south. We're talking about, to be clear for everyone here, we're talking about 9 lots. We're talking about within what was approved for housing already. And if you go back to the previous maps that has the parcels, those parcels, there it went. You had it on there a minute ago. Go back. It was where you had that right there.
Okay.
So we're talking about that area.
Yes, I think that area has, 5 lots
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
for financing purposes, and then they're creating some additional lots that will come back, one to set aside for the school site,
Okay.
one to set aside, which is number 5, 6 is the school site.
Yeah.
No, 6 is the school site now.
Yes, it is.
Number 5 is the city's park site.
Right.
And then 7, 8, and 9, those are just kind of a master larger lots, and we'll figure those out at some future time once they come in with actual maps for those.
I guess the legal question for me is, those lots that you see now were pre-approved. So why are we talking about 9 parcels? We're really talking about parcels, right? Not so much lots. So how is this working? You're subdividing the housing tract that's there. Obviously, it's going to be in phases. Where you see houses that are preliminary developed there, now we're talking about 9 parcels or 9 lots?
I guess they're interchangeable term, lots and parcels.
Okay.
So the best way I can explain, they can elaborate further, is just like, the additional parcels, one just set aside for school site.
Right. So we're talking about 9,
Yeah.
parcels 1 through 9, in essence.
No, we're just creating boundary lines so that they can get the financing for it.
Okay. So we didn't have those boundary lines.
Yeah. They have to follow the boundary lines of the specific
Okay,
plan.
okay.
They have to do that.
Okay. I guess that's what I was trying to get it in my mind. We're not approving 9 parcels. We're talking about, well, actually, we're saying 9 lots. And that's, I think, where the confusion is for me, is you're saying 9 lots or 9 parcels. Because if you're improving 6, 7, 8, 9, that's separate from 1
I would
through...
say we're doing 2 things. We're creating 5 parcels, 5 areas to be able for the subdivisional component, so that they can finance and sell it off to merchant builders.
Right.
There's 4 remaining lots.
Okay.
Like, those are just school site, park site,
Okay.
and then other lots that they'll figure out at some later point. They just need it for financing purpose, so they can segregate it out and figure out how they're going to map it out later.
Yeah.
And so even though they're creating these larger lots or parcels, it doesn't mean that they have the right to just do whatever they want, because there's some underlying regulations for what they can do, and they have to come back to us.
Economically, about 150 homes is pretty much the standard. So you're not going to go realistically. You're not going to put 2,000 homes up. You're not going to sell them. So obviously that tends to be the goal for that. I agree with my commissioner here, and it's in conjunction with the whole thing. In 1992, I wasn't on this in 92. In 1992, you had 520 acres or whatever, so many acres. But you also had commercial, which is amazing we pulled that out. You also had a lake, another thing I don't like being pulled out. Parkland, you had what you didn't say was about, you had pocket parks, similar to your Temecula Harveston. We have pocket parks that are located in a master plan community. That's what you do really want, pocket parks. Then you can still have open space park. But since that's not part of this, essentially, we've gone down, in essence, and taken out the commercial in a master plan community. We've taken out a lot of stuff. The other one, South has commercial. We've taken that out. So we have one park. I'm not even sure it'll be a lake there. But we have one park that's still scheduled and one park south of San Jacinto. So I was just getting the pictures. So obviously they want to sell this, whoever the developer is, this portion, and we're only dealing with that portion. We're not dealing with what's going to happen in the other side. There's not enough really multifamily, actually, but that's another story, another day. But I was just trying to get clear because I wasn't sure what we were looking at. We're financing 9 lots, but they're only going to subdivide those and do it obviously in portion based whoever the developer is going to be. It makes sense. You got to get financing. So I was just trying to understand that because I don't know why, but this is the only time I've seen this kind of seemed a little confusing. We've had changes, big change from 1992 to 2007. And definitely not the same population. Everything's different. And even adjacent to this, there's supposed to be some Alzheimer's housing that was supposed to be in that area. I don't even know what happened to that. 75-year-olds and up. That has gone somewhere. So a lot of changes since that time. And so I was just looking at that and I said, we're 9 lots. Or I could say 9 parcels. I say parcel, you say lot. You know, say tomato, you say tomato. So if that's really the only distinction, I was just trying to get some clarity on what that meant. Okay. So beyond that, at least it's a basic understanding. And I understand when I get this, they'll have to come back for all the other stuff. Parcel 8, parcel 9, or whatever, and deal with that, especially with the housing market now. Okay. That was my only question. I was trying to understand because she's right in noticing it for the new time, the changes and things that have been taken out, commercial and all the other stuff. But at least there's that understanding. Nothing south of San Jacinto changes. It's just north of that area. Okay. Do you have any more questions? I think that was.
Is it something we can request? Because I echo Chair Hammond, the loss of the pocket parks. So are we just looking at the finance? We're not making recommendations because all of this has been pre-approved, right? We're just voting on the subdivision.
Correct. It's just a financing map at this
Okay.
point.
And for the future ones, can we recommend for you to maybe encourage? Or would it be something similar to this where this is kind of what's already been approved and we're just doing a financial subdivision?
We can talk to them. I know that they're thinking about, they're creating large parcels. I know that they're want to communicate with us how to shift stuff around, and
Yeah.
we'll work with them on shifting stuff around. But they just need to get this going, get the funding going, get some revenue, and start. And I don't know how much they want to elaborate, but at this point, at some point, they're going to come back
Move
to
forward.
us.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. At this time, if the developer would like to make a presentation, just state your full name and spell your last name for us. That would it.
Good evening, commissioners and staff. My name is Greg Fick with Mission Pacific, spelled F-I-C-K. Want to thank Mr. Perez for the presentation tonight. Very thorough. Here to answer any questions that you have. We have reviewed the conditions of approval and do not have any issues with the conditions as stated. Just to provide a little bit of clarity, there was an approved tentative tract map for this site, but that didn't create legal parcels as part of that. And they're not legal parcels until you get that recorded. So we will be selling this before to the merchant builders before the final tract map gets recorded. So that's the reason why we have these parcels before you today for finance and conveyance purposes only. We're not proposing any development as part of this. It's really just to be able to kickstart this off and get this moving forward. We are in final engineering on phase 1 right now as we speak for the backbone and for these parcels. So here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, sir. Anyone have any questions? Commissioner Gomez.
Hi, thank you so much. I just wanted to ask a question. I think this is more for my education, for me to learn something. So reason for making these parcels smaller, has something to do with the economy and the way it's working right now?
We're actually not really making these parcels smaller. All we're doing is we're creating parcels that really kind of follow the planning areas and the tentative tract map areas and creating legal parcels so that they can be sold to merchant developers. That's all we're doing.
So could that be because of, because I know that the market is definitely, moving construction, and at some point even it's kind of slowing it down in a way. Could that be another reason why that it has to be split up in this way so that it could be sold in individual parts? It makes it easier to sell, like easier for it to get developed by individual developers. This is just from my knowledge.
This is very common in the development world. This happens.
Okay.
This does happen all the time. This isn't unique. I know that Green Valley came in here a couple months ago and did something very similar. Usually, we would tie this tentative parcel map with the entitlement approval at the same time. So if we come in with a specific plan amendment and redefine areas for parcel 8 here, we would do another finance conveyance map to set those boundaries as well at that time. So we will be likely coming in the future and doing another one for this. But this is really just for phase 1 and to create a legal parcel for the school site, legal parcel for the park as well.
Okay, well, looking forward to parcel 1 there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Commissioner Shively. Never Shively, sorry.
So once you sell these parcels, 1, 2, 4, or all 5 of them, I guess, but parcel 5 being the park lot, do you expect any of the individual companies that you're selling them to will come and ask for smaller lots?
No.
Individual lots?
Not for phase 1, because we have a tentative tract map. We have final engineering going through with entitlements that are already approved. So yeah, this is just, we're going with what's already approved and entitled at this point.
But it could occur on later lots.
For parcel 8, we are looking at, because that is about 15 years old, so we are doing market studies to see what the most viable options are for housing there.
Does it include a potential lake in the parcel 8?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thanks.
Okay, Commissioner Jimenez.
When you're scoping out to see what lot sizes are, will you also be asking about those kind of amenities or things that people are interested in? Just because I think in Paris we have lifted the bar so much with development and all, and I think our city's really looking for very high-end things now. Is that something that you'll also be considering?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at parks. We're in design. We're in conceptual stages for the park. We have two pretty large parks already here within the master plan community too. So
okay, but yeah, something to consider.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much, sir. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we open it up for public comment. I don't know if there's anyone on Zoom. I don't think so. And especially if there's someone in the audience, unless it's only Nathan. Yeah, I know. It's an invisible person there. Okay. Seeing that there are no public comments, we close the public comments portion and move to the discussion by commissioners. Why are we looking at... Okay, there we go. Whoever wants to go first.
Sorry, for me, it's just you know, finance map, of course, is what the statement is, and they're just subdividing it so they can portion it off to each individual company that, you know, wishes to sell and build homes out there. I do like the fact that they, in the conditions, they restated that when the park has to be completed and started and submitted, and then completed is by the 500 closure, which, you know, by that time, I think in those 5 lots that are there, I think there's something only like 530 something lots. So it'll be towards the very end when they finish it, when they only have very few homes left to sell and build. But I do hope that the applicant does reevaluate potential for at least a small lake in that properties in the future. Yep.
Commissioner Gomez.
Yes, thank you. I agree with Co-Chair Shively in regards to letting the developers know and the applicants that we are looking forward to those items or the viewpoints like the lake, the more pocket parks in our communities, because we're understanding that you know, with our city campaigning for Live Well Paris and making sure that our residents have access to healthy living and healthy lifestyle is very important. And not that, you know, there's many listeners today, but I'd like it to be on there for the record that that's something we're definitely looking for, and we definitely encourage. That's something that would be great. So I was also disappointed when I was reading through the history of this development, and you know, the parks did get a little smaller. They shifted, and we lost a lake, and that for me was, well, it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago, but I think we're going to start to hope that they can bring those kinds of amenities back in, and that's really all I wanted to say.
Oh. Commissioner Jimenez.
Yes. Also for me, it's just a finance map or breaking something down that was already approved. I was extremely disappointed when I saw the changes from 1992 to what was changed in 2007, that loss of commercial land, open space, the lake, the losing a parkland school property was very disappointing. I was walking with my family over the weekend down Avalon Parkway, and it's beautiful to walk, and it's within a built-in community. So that's something I think that we want to push for all the communities, where there's the nice meandering walkway, there's shade, there's greenery, there's little pocket parks. There's a place when, you know, my grandma would come and visit, she would have to sit because she couldn't walk very long, but there was like different little sitting park areas. That's something I really would like to see within these developments. I mean, there's only 500 and something lots, but when you're driving through it, it feels very dense, and it's nothing but concrete and sidewalk and street. I didn't see anything that showed that there was like a walkway for families to go out and take their little ones to learn how to ride a bike or skateboard, or, you know, have a good time riding their scooters. So I really want, hopefully, you know, our city staff looks at that, because I think, you know, from 1992 to 2007, there was a big change. But I think from 2007 to where we're at in 2022, with the expectations that we have in development of our city, the higher elevated expectations just of architecture, colors, nature escapes, everything, I really hope that there's a second or third or fourth look into this, and maybe incorporating some of that commercial again, some of that open space, the parkland, the little pockets, just a little bit more to make it more representative of where our city's going.
You already spoke, right? Oh. Yeah, and finally, I echo all three of the commissioners here. I think you're kind of getting the gist of where we're thinking about, because if not, you will. This is a different commission. It's a commission that looks at greenery. This is a commission that looks at parks, open space. We're putting it in the staff's mind for a reason, even though this is a finance map. We're sticking it in your minds. Okay, start thinking of walkable communities because you're going to get it from the council. So start thinking that way. Start thinking of greenery. Start thinking of trees. Start thinking of walking paths. This is a master plan community. This isn't just we're building Avalon Village. We're building over a community. This is master plan. Think of the Green River, and even that could be better. But the idea is you want trees and greenery and walkable spaces because you're going to hear that from all levels. So the idea when we're putting these things in the mind, things that were taken out. I wasn't here in '92. I was on a commission. I just came to the city. I was in 2007, and mostly back then it was build a house, build a house, build a house. Shut up and just approve the houses. Let's be honest. Just build. Okay? And nobody was really thinking about that level back then. It was just, you got to approve it, and you got to approve it tomorrow. So I'm the only one who knows that because it was a lot of pressure just to approve just building a house. Any way it looks, it could be 5 feet apart, 2 feet apart. That's not going to fly today. Okay? So think about that fact. Get more detail. Get outside the box. That kind of thinking is going to be pressed. Okay? And so when we say master plan, we mean master plan. I hated to lose commercial because you have Nuevo Road, San Jacinto, major roadways, major travelways. At least they're thinking of townhomes down south. They've gone down a number. It should be about 900 to 1,000 between apartments and townhomes, to me. Okay? That's not even close to enough RHNA standards. You're not even close. So you got to start thinking multifamily because the housing market is going to go down. Okay. In 2007, it went down, right? The very year that was approved, went south. So guess what? You had no apartments. You had no multifamily. What do they need in the city? The number one thing is multifamily housing. Not only single family, it's multifamily. People are coming to me all the time. We need more. Where's the apartments? I can't build them. But so the balance, because all our young people are leaving, will be leaving the city. They have to. Where are you going to live? In a house that's $500,000? So we're kind of putting in the mind of all developers, not just you, start thinking of a master plan. There's some great examples we visited. Thank you, Kenneth. We went out to Rancho. We saw some good examples. Fountains, water, open space, garden areas, but walkable. They even had studios where you can teach music lessons, things like that. All part of a community because that's the trend today. Mixed use, master plan. Okay. Very seldom going to build these 2,000 housing tracts. Not going to happen here. Okay. So we've got to start thinking about outside the box. So that's why these comments are coming out. Nothing wrong with the financing. But I'm just saying, we're just putting it in the mind, so when they start coming back and getting more specific and more detail, we're going to be more detailed. And we're putting it in staff's mind. They're going to be the first place that you meet. But I think they already know where we're coming from, right? So anyway, that's my speech. Other than that, I don't have any other questions or issues. I've just, you see how things have evolved from '92. You had 28,000 people, 20,000. And then you evolved to 1995, it was a minute again. Things changed. Then you went to 2007, it was a housing boom. Then you went crash, and now you're in 2022. Hopefully we don't have another one. But you're starting to see the trends, right? So over all those 2-3 decades, things keep changing. So this map that was approved originally can't be the same. You can't have that because that was '92, right? So thankfully we've got it updated. We've got more things now, and we've progressed a lot as a city. So that's it for me. Unless someone else has any other comments.
I do have a comment, and I would like to ask Kenneth if that's a possibility that instead of the path of park that they plan on doing, I believe it's park design at 200. At 300, it is started construction, and 400 or 500 is completed construction. If that timeline can be sped up, because construction of 500 homes could take 2 to 3 years, if not longer, to complete. So maybe we could try to push that park forward to be completed sooner.
Unfortunately, that has already been agreed to in the memorandum of understanding in terms of the timing. So in terms of the applicant's commitment, they're making progress in terms of walking through our parks committee and getting the plans going. So I know that they're making an effort to move this along quickly, but the timing has already been set.
Okay, I just thought I would attempt to see what we can do. Thank you.
Okay, were there any further comments? Okay. Thank you very much. No further comments. We move it to a motion. I don't think there were any changes notable changes. Oh, where was that? Oh, we have a motion by Commissioner Jimenez. And seconded by Commissioner Gomez.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes?
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shively,
Yes?
Chair Hammond.
Yes.
With a vote of 4 yes, this motion passes.
I know.
Thank you very much. We're moving pretty good today. We move to item 8, the business item. Okay. Another business item, maybe later. Okay. And we had no business item. We move to public comments. Anyone wishing to address the Planning Commission regarding items not on the agenda may do so at this time. Of course. Of course, they could walk up to the podium if there was someone here or on Zoom. And if anyone was on Zoom, I don't know if IT is there's anyone on Zoom for open public comment.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. And I just for the sake of the record, and I know it kind of gets bored, but we do have an interpreter. I want to acknowledge that he's in there, and we'll get you going one day. But we appreciate it. I always acknowledge him. He always has a good attitude and a good smile, so I appreciate it. With that, not seeing any public comments, we close the public comment portion. Wow, are we sure? It's only 40 minutes. Kind of getting shocked here. What's going on here? We move to item 10, commission members' announcements or reports.
Just wanted to say that everyone stay healthy out there, be hydrated, try to stay in cool places. We're going through a heat wave right now. It kind of hit us really hard because May was beautiful. Did not prepare us for this. It's definitely telling us it's summer. I know that the city has some programs with air conditioning. The senior center, I believe, is under construction, but I'm sure that the city has other amenities available as well. Let's see. I did have some questions, but I'm not sure if that's for now or later. I had a question for staff. I've been getting some questions myself in regards to, there's a buzz going around about County of Riverside not having enough electricity to support the warehouses that are coming in. And I'm not sure that that affects the city of Paris because I haven't heard that here in the city of Paris. But, you know, with that large distribution center coming into the base, there was an article that suggested that they're struggling or there wasn't enough electricity to power that building. And I just wanted to check in with city staff to see, for clarity for our listeners and our residents, if that in fact has anything to do with the city of Paris or if it does affect us in any way. If you've heard about it.
Yeah, I'll comment during the director's
Okay.
communication.
Okay. And then I think that was the only thing that I had just a thumbnail I wanted to mention. But other than that, everyone stay safe and remember that COVID's still out there. Take your precautions and wash your hands. It's not fun to have family members get sick or your loved ones, so please take care of each other. That's it.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Jimenez.
Thank you. Just want to say I hope families are enjoying their summer break. You know, it just so happened that we had a cool week last week, and then this week somebody turned on the oven. So it's been really crazy. It's been really hot, but it's perfect weather for swimming, perfect weather for popsicles, ice cream, doing fun things out in the parks. We have a lot of parks in our city that have nice shades. Go out, have fun, get to know our community members. And other than that, I'm enjoying my break. It was, well, very, 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 very much needed. And I know we had a few more graduations from our last meeting for Moreno Valley, so congratulations to those graduates too, and hope everybody stays safe during this time.
Thank you very much. And Vice Chairman Shively.
Commissioner Hammond, I have no comments at this time.
Whoa, I don't know what to do. Okay. Okay. I promise it won't be long. I think I have one request for our director, and would love to have our economic development person, Michelle Ogawa, come present to us. I mentioned it to her. Of course, I said we have to go through Kenneth, but at least economic development, not to beat up the person, okay? We want to bring the person here because she's doing a great job, but we want to at least find out from the Planning Commission. Read your handbook, and one of the things we're involved in is economic development. That's your planning handbook. We're supposed to be talking about those kind of things. That's from this League of California Cities, guys. So I'm just saying, they mention it, I'm mentioning it. Things that come in, they even talked about public works, but I'm not even going to go there. But the idea is that we get some of the economic development, not to scoop on everything coming, but we're just talking about what are the things that have been done, how do they operate, how do they develop, you know, and some of those things would be nice just to get a conversation going, because we've had it in the past, you know, and a lot of things are happening. A lot more things have happened in the 5-10 years. We've had a lot of things going on. It'd just be good to kind of get a compartmentalization, because we know things have been developed, we know things have been built, we know in and out's coming, we know some other ones are on the way, but more so, you know, in terms of the planning aspect, these areas that have been things are being built up north, we don't have a whole lot of space left. You know, what is going on in the city in terms of economic development? What do they do? What is the department about? You know, and it always relates to planning, because as we approve stuff or disapprove business parks, things like that, we're going to start seeing very little of that, so we're going to have an issue. Okay, you can't just have housing; you have to have things, offices, things like that. So just what's in the works, that would be nice. Hats off to code enforcement. We beat them up a lot, but they've done a pretty good job. I even saw one in my neighborhood. I haven't seen one in 15 years. Driving in the neighborhood, and I had parked over by us was somebody dropped a boat off on the land. They bought furniture and things like that. I went to the office. I don't call on the phone. I go to the office. I want to see face to face. It's what happens when you work for government. You deal face to face with people. So I went right in there and said, no. So here's a picture of a boat sitting on the property. And they already had a case going. That's why no, we got a case going. Boom, 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 we're on top of it. Appreciate it. So see something nice. At least on top of it with a few things that they do. So I appreciate that. And with that, I think stay cool, stay safe. We probably won't meet for another month or so. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things going. We're pretty easy on you, Nathan. See? We won't be the next time, right? But anyway, we appreciate it. Thank you. And we didn't even have to get interrupted by a city attorney. He was ready to go. It was like, no. But anyway, thank you. And we turn it over to the Director of Development Services, reports, and no information.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Hammond, members of the Planning Commission. This meeting reminds me of the old days when we get out of here in an hour or so. But I appreciate having the reminders of the early days. But you're doing great, giving us feedback to figure out how development, giving us feedback to figure out when we talk to the developers. So those are helpful input. So when the project gets here, we're trying to address some of those issues that you bring up. In terms of Commissioner Gomez's comments, we are aware of that article about the lack of electricity in the county, or next to the Marsh Air Force Base. We did reach out to Edison, and that's more of an isolated situation in that area of town, but I think that's getting resolved already. We don't currently have an electricity issue in Paris. Those have been kind of planned out for all of our development, so we don't have a lack of electricity capacity at this point in the city of Paris. In regards to just upcoming things that you should be aware of, and you're already probably planning for July 4th. I know sometimes it's a couple weeks away and we always forget, but 4th of July is coming up. Stay safe. Don't use your fireworks if you're in the community. There's a place you go to, the Lake Paris, to enjoy that. So please stay safe and not only to protect like our residents and our community, because fireworks could be a safety hazard. So just want to bring that to everybody's attention and have an opportunity for you to take your time off, because we won't have the Planning Commission meeting that week. So you can enjoy your 4th of July weekend. The council has a kind of a summer break, and this is your opportunity. This is your summer break. So enjoy that. The next Planning Commission is not until, I believe, July 20th. I believe that's the second meeting in July. What else do I need to update you on? The other item I wanted to update you on is just, if you did not know, I'm sure you all know already, today is Ryan's last Planning Commission meeting. Yes. Ryan's been here, I think, almost 5 years right now. He started out as I feel like a young teenager, but he was not a teenager. He just looked like a teenager when he started. I appreciate that you been very good to him and really gave him the nice treatment versus other planners who show up. So he stayed here almost 5 years, but I appreciate Ryan. I can't say this enough. When he told me that he was going to leave, I thought, Ryan, you have a great future in planning. If you really want to be, I see a great future for you in the planning field. But I understand youth and just the opportunity that exists, and I see a lot of myself in a younger Ryan, in terms of wanting to move up, wanting to get compensated for what I do, and I can see that in myself. And being at his age, I was probably doing the same thing. And as I'm not sure if you know, but I left to work for a home builder. I went to the dark side for a couple of years early in my career, but I think what was a little bit different was, Ryan has a business background, so he might have a different mindset of what his future is. I kind of wanted to be an architect or a planner, so I kind of realized after 3 years working in a home builder, I thought, that future wasn't necessary for me. I enjoy doing what I do, and I don't mind what I do, and I don't mind the feedback. I think it's all great because this is me. This is who I am, and I love what I do. And so, and Ryan, I can see his side, and just knowing that he has a business background and the direction he wants to take. And I would love to have him here. I would like to keep him here. I try to make every excuse for him to reason he should stay, but there's nothing that I can do. I can't incentivize him enough to keep going here. But I appreciate Ryan for what he's done, and I just wish him the best. And that concludes my Director of Communication.
And absolutely. If any one of the commissioners, before we adjourn, would like to say anything, or Ryan, we're going to hear from you. You're not getting out of this, okay? In fact, let's hear from you first.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Kenneth, and it's been a pleasure working with everyone here at the city for pretty much 5 years now. No complaints, great place to work. An opportunity did arise, not in the public sector, so I moved into the private sector, as Kenneth said, kind of the dark side. It's been great working with you guys. I know when I started here it was a little intimidating, but you guys, been all the commissioners I've seen, you guys are always expanding. You guys are learning more, which helps staff learn more. The quality of the projects I've seen since I've been sitting here, it's constantly rising, and it's really nice to see the projects coming in are constantly evolving. They're getting better and better, and I think the projects coming through here are the highest quality that I've seen. So I'm proud of that, between the developers, staff, and you guys as well. So thank you for making the city a better place. I don't live here, but it is nice to see the higher quality development coming through. So thank you for that. I'm sure the residents appreciate that, and I know staff appreciates it as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. And we'd be here another long time if we went through the whole list of Ryan things. But thanks for putting up with us, because this is not an easy commission to deal with. But your professionalism, but just your demeanor, your attitude, you're pleasant, always willing to do, wearing several hats. You jump up there and do a planning thing, come back and start time. That's not easy, I think. Just ask Judy. You're taking all these notations, and we're all over the place, right? So we appreciate it. We will miss you. We will miss you. And obviously, you have to make moves what's best for you and your family. And you're not going to Menifee, so that's why we're still talking to you, okay? But, yeah, I'm saying on record, okay, so beat me up. But we're really happy that you're able to move on. Don't forget us in 2 weeks from now. I didn't work for a city of Paris. Who's that? You know, come on, at least 2 years, okay? But we will all miss you. Good luck in whatever you do. You're going to be fantastic. You know, I'm sure their office is going to miss you too. And so, but he did it all. You go to the office and there's Ryan there. Oh, what is this guy? You know, jack of all trades, but he does it all. But that's the kind of persons we've had in Paris. That's just the Paris quality in Paris staff. So hopefully you got from us and take whatever you can do. We're beating you up, so you'll get used to that there. You know, citizens, public, customers. You know, oh yeah, I work for the city of Paris. Okay, but we will miss you. Good luck in endeavor if you guys want to. Otherwise, we'll move on. But I really appreciated working with you. You never did get me to sign those things, you know, for chairperson, but you'll just leave them for the next person, right? But but thank you, and good luck. And you say you're leaving at a time when you can leave and do the best you can do, and work from home, right? Oh, okay. Okay, well, thank you, sir. Okay.
Just really quick, Brian. This is Commissioner Gomez. I just wanted to say congratulations, good luck on your endeavors, and we know you're going to be very successful. I was very happy to hear your comment coming from a staff member that you've seen the quality rise in the projects that are coming in and out of the city. And the quality is coming from everyone, including yourself and the staff members as well. And because you were always willing, and the staff is always willing to answer our questions and work together. And I think that's quality in itself, and that's what we're able to bring quality. So hopefully you'll keep track, and then we'll make the city so tempting that you're going to want to come back and buy a house here and then have a great career close by. So congratulations.
I agree with Kenneth, Ryan. You know, I could see a great future for you as a planner, but I could see a great future for you wherever you go. It doesn't matter if it's public, private sector. You have so much to give. You're just such a hard worker. You're so positive. You're always so helpful that I see a great future for you wherever you want to go and wherever life leads you. I just see you doing great things. And I want to thank you for working with us. And I enjoyed getting to know you. Not that we're not going to get to know each other more. We'll run into each other sometime. So I look forward to seeing all the great things that come your way. Thank you.
I was just, earlier today when you were typing, I was just admiring how fast you type now compared to when you first started. So, yeah, you definitely improve from the day you first came here. And you will always continue to improve as you continue to move forward in whatever endeavors you have. And I don't blame you for moving on for what you plan on doing and you dream of doing. Just keep moving forward and don't look back, and you be proud of what you're accomplished of what you've done. Everything you've done in your past is the basis of what you would do in the future. So I'm proud of you as you know, seeing you grow up, being, going in actually inside and actually assisting me with other projects as I worked with you individually. You're always kind of heart, willing to learn and put your best foot forward. So, and no matter where you'll be, I'm sure you'll put those mottos into play and be successful.
Did you want to introduce the co-person there or not?
I can do a brief introduction.
Okay.
So, as Ryan's departure, one of our planners kind of offering assistance until we can find a kind of a more permanent replacement. So the person sitting next to Ryan is Lupita Garcia. She's one of our associate planner. She's been here probably 4 or 5 months. She's doing great. She's been of a great assistance, and you can kind of see her effort, just kind of taking that initiative and saying, "Hey, I know that there's a need. Can I help?" And so I appreciate Lupita, and she's been a great asset since she's been here this past 5 or 6 months now.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe when I first met her, I had a project, but I don't think she really realized who I was when I came in there. So, and I don't willingly just announce who I am when I walk in there. I just ask for the information. She didn't. I'm sure she didn't know who I was when she did it, but she was pretty helpful as she did it as well. So,
Thank you very much, guys, and we appreciate it. And hopefully she'll still have that great demeanor in 6 months after us, because we tend to knock it off people real quick. So, but anyway, with that, it's time for adjournment. And unless there's someone that would like to stay here. I know it's air conditioning, guys. Come on. Yeah, we want to drag this meeting on, but we can't do that. But and Ryan, for the last, we're going to miss that typing. It's so fast. Yeah. That's young people. I'll still be doing the first sentence, But anyway, we appreciate it. And with that adjournment, you can just about pick anyone because none of us are going to object. So thank you very much and good evening.
Listen, listen, everyone. Listening time has begun. Sit crisscross